pleasant morning, my dear beloved students. Welcome back to the contemporary world. Always remember, we're free to go where we wish and to be what we are. It's a big world out there. Go explore. This part of our lesson is about global population and mobility, and our topic for today is focused on global migration. We have two learning outcomes to achieve by the end of the lesson. First, analyze the political, economic, cultural, and social factors underlying the global movements of people. And second, display first-hand knowledge of the experiences of OFWs. Here are some interesting facts about migration. Did you know that people who migrate are called migrants? There are 258 million international migrants worldwide as of 2017. 48% of these international migrant stock are female. There are an estimated 36.1 million migrant children, 4.8 million international students, and 150.3 million migrant workers. Approximately 31% of the international migrant stock worldwide reside in Asia, 30% in Europe, 26% in the Americas, 10% in Africa, and 3% in Oceania. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 18th of December as International Migrants Day. What is migration? As defined by United Nations, migration is a way where migrants move from one place to another in search of labor or economic opportunities, to join family or to study. It also considers other social, economic, cultural, and political factors of a place. Who is a migrant? As defined by United Nations Migration Agency, a migrant is any person who is moving or has moved across an international border or within a state away from his or her habitual place of residence, regardless of the following. Number 1. The person's legal status. 2. Whether the movement is voluntary or involuntary. 3. What the causes for the movement are, or 4. What the length of the stay is. What are the two types of migration? Migration is classified into two types. First, internal migration, and second, international migration. Here is the difference of these two types of migration. When we say internal migration, as adopted from International Organization for Migration, World Migration Report 2015, internal migration is the movement of people within a state involving the establishment of a new temporary or permanent residence. And when we say international migration is the movement of persons away from their place of usual residence and across an international border to a country of which they are not nationals. How are international migrants categorized? International migrants are classified according to the following common categories from UNESCO. First, temporary labor migrant. Second, highly skilled and business migrant. Third, irregular migrant. Fourth, forced migration. Fifth, family members. Sixth, return migrant. And at this point, when we say temporary labor migrants, they are the people who migrate for a limited period of time in order to take up employment and send money home. And we also have the so-called highly skilled and business migrant. These are people with professional qualification who move within the internal labor markets of transnational corporations and international organizations. Those who seek employment through international labor markets for scarce skills are also considered on this classification of migrant. Irregular migrant, also known as undocumented or illegal migrants. These are people who enter a country, usually in search of employment without the necessary documents and permits. Forced migration. This includes not only refugees and asylum seekers, but also people forced to move due to external factors such as environmental catastrophes or development projects. This form of migration has similar characteristics to displacement. Family members, also known as family reunion or family reunification migrants. These are people sharing family ties, joining relatives who have already entered an immigration country under one of the above mentioned categories. Return migrants. These are people who return to their countries of origin after living in another country for some time. Why do people migrate? There are factors which an individual considers before migrating to another place, such as first, social factors, second, cultural factors, third, economic factors, and fourth, political factors. Underlying these are push and pull factors, which will be defined later on. When we say push factors, these are the factors that induce people to move out of their present location, while pull factors, these are the factors that induce people to move into a new location. Social factors. There are cases where family conflict or a young adult's quest for independence lead to migration. There are women who migrate to their husband's place for the sake of their marriage. People want to live in a place with better facilities, infrastructures, and services. Examples: health, education, transportation, communication, etc. Up next, we have cultural factors. People are pushed to migrate because of cultural diversity, religious conflict, racial and/or other forms of discrimination. People become more attracted to countries with democratic space, a place that encourages individual choice and without discrimination. Economic factors. Migrants are pushed to move from one place to another because of underemployment and underdevelopment on their place. People choose to live in locations where there are greater job and economic opportunities. Political factors. There are people who choose to leave their place due to persistent political violence or recurring political threats. People want to live in a peaceful and safe environment. At this point, these are the key takeaways from this lesson. Always remember that migration is a way where migrants move from one place to another in search for better opportunities socially, economically, culturally, and politically. People who migrate are called migrants. Migrants are people who make choices about when to leave and where to go. Migration is classified as internal or international migration. Internal migration is the movement of people within a state, involving the establishment of a new temporary or permanent residence. While international migration is the movement of persons away from their place of usual residence and across an international border to a country of which they are not nationals. The classifications of international migrants are temporary labor, migrant, highly skilled and business migrant, irregular migrant, forced migration, family members, and return migrant. Push factors include people to move out of their present location, while pull factors induce people to move into a new location. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more educational updates. Thank you so much.